Prepare to experience the strongest radio allowable by law. Secrets will be revealed. Myths dispelled. From the studio gym where excuses never apply, it's Superhuman Radio with your host, Carl Lenore.
With Dr. Jeff Galini.
I did it to Rob Regis yesterday on his theme music. I don't know.
I thought I had some new music, man. That was cool.
Yeah, I know. Maybe we should update it. How about that? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, man. How about you?
Supplement Santa. You know what?
Man, you resurrected Supplement Santa, man.
I know, man. When it like it's unbelievable. It's taken on a life of its own, hasn't it? It's like everybody knows. People don't even know who you are, Dr. Jeff Galini. Who's that? I want Supplement Santa.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Well, last week I started a post, and it's going to happen soon. Today, later, I'll be posting on Dr. Jeff Galini's Facebook page when the Supplement Santa giveaway, Christmas in August, is going to take place, Carl. So what happens is you've got to log on to the live Facebook. So you got to like my page first of all to be part of it, and it's very easy. All you got to do when it's live, you got to log on, you got to like it, you got to share it, and then you got to put a comment in there while it's live on why you think you should win the Christmas present. And what the present for this month is going to be is a case of carbohydrate, which is about a $280 value, and a wad of cash.
How much cash, Dr. J?
Oh, it's going to be a wad. I'm not revealing the amount, but a lot of people have said, you're crazy. What's up with the cash? Well, this is for you to go and buy the next 4 months' worth of your supplements. But you know what? If you don't like me and you don't like EFX Sports, then go buy whatever you want and give the carbohydrate to somebody that can appreciate it.
That's really awesome.
Yeah. So later on today, I'm going to announce when the time and date will be here in the next week that someone will have a chance to win.
And that's on your Facebook page, right?
That'll be on the Facebook page.
So you started out as a power lifter. A lot of people may not realize this about you, but you played football at a young age. Powerlifting became a sport that you enjoyed participating in. Bodybuilding just kind of burgeoned from that. But at the core, you're still a strength athlete. You're a power lifter. And as a result of that, we got a question from Ernie in Cleveland, Ohio, saying, hey, Dr. Jeff, I heard you were a power lifter back in the day. I'm having trouble increasing my deadlift. Can you give me some training advice along with diet and supplement advice to help me out?
Yeah, I had a coach in high school. He was one of our line coaches for football, and he was also the varsity wrestling coach. But he was a power lifter. So in 7th grade, he taught us proper training and the importance of, those power movements. And we started competing in elementary school, well, not elementary, but junior high and high school. I competed all throughout the state, I never was defeated. I won every meet. I set state records, school records. So I really embraced powerlifting, and that was the core to, my football, my basketball, and then later my bodybuilding physique was everything that I had learned about being a powerlifter. But I just really did enjoy the challenge of myself. In powerlifting, although you're competing against somebody else, it's about how much I can do that day. And then wherever the numbers stack up, you see where you come out. You're not actually, going battle with somebody. And I think that's why I really enjoyed that. And this is a good question from Ernie, because a lot of, especially younger people, who want to get into powerlifting, I see this all the time in the gym. 3 times a week, Carl, they are doing singles. They are trying to see how much they can deadlift for 1 rep. And then they wonder why, when they finally get to the meet, they don't know what to do. They're burned out, they're injured, and they normally do, 40% less of what they actually did in the gym. So first of all, that's the wrong thing to do to train for any type of powerlifting meet.
Going for the max lift all the time, that's a mistake.
Yeah, it looks good in the gym, but, we used to always say in any sport that I did, you want to practice hard and you want to do the best you can, but what really matters is game day. I mean, meet day. That's when you have to be the best.
Right.
Everything else is just preparation. So again, my first recommendation is quit doing singles. Don't do that because it really doesn't do a whole lot to enable you to increase your strength. Maybe once a month, once every 6 weeks, you want to have some idea of where you are so that if you are going to compete, you know where to open at, and you kind of have a plan of what you would like to get. In the 3 attempts that you get when I powerlifted, I always started at something that I knew I could do because I never wanted to zero out on the first one and not be able to do it. So my first lift was always something that was a bit challenging, but I knew I could do. My second one was near what I thought my max was, and my third one, I just went for it. And I usually always got my PRs in those meets because, adrenaline flowing, people yelling and screaming for you, people watching, so you always wanted to do your best. But getting there, so here's some of my recommendations is, first of all, you've got to work the whole body. That's the one thing about bodybuilding that powerlifters and other athletes need to incorporate is it takes every muscle in your body to pull that bar off the ground. You've got to work your legs. You've got to squat. You've got to work your hamstrings, your quads, because that whole movement is dependent upon leg strength. You've got to work your back, your chest, your arms, your traps, your core. I mean, powerlifting, deadlifting is something that requires every muscle in your body to work simultaneously. So again, if you got weak arms or you have weak legs or a weak back, you're not going to be a good deadlifter. You probably have experienced that just in your own deadlifting, huh?
Oh, absolutely. The deadlift was my bread and butter. And I also think it's the greatest lift of all 3 lifts. I think it's the one that tests more muscle complexes in unison than anything else. The squat's hard, don't get me wrong, but your forearms are working, your pecs are working, your shoulders are working, your lats are working. Everything is working when you're deadlifting. And your lower legs, just like a squat. So it's a great lift.
I mean, that's the best overall strength is the deadlift,
Yeah.
And the other advice is, again, if you're a powerlifter and you want to increase deadlifts, throw out your straps, your hooks,
Really?
all those things.
Really?
Yeah, I never did those because too many guys are stronger than their grip. So if you are not working on your grip strength, then you're going to drop the bar. And normally when you see guys drop the bar, it's because they just don't have the strength
to hold on to it, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't start using straps and stuff until I got into bodybuilding, where I was now more concerned with doing more reps and not losing the bar because I wanted to go to muscle failure. Where in powerlifting, you're not necessarily going to failure, So again, you got to work on your grip. So don't use straps or anything for anything. Get that strong grip.
Yeah.
I never lost a bar, no matter what weight, and I always used an over/under grip when I powerlifted. And again, I don't know if that's still being used.
Yeah, it is.
But that's the best way. And you just have to figure out which hand is the best for you to be under or over. Don't do a double overhand grip, again, for a powerlifter because, again, it's better to have one hand under the bar and one hand over top the bar. The other thing that's important is now what type of training repetitions, again, because, powerlifting from sometimes people's mental standpoint is, I only need to do singles, doubles. No, you should be doing 10 reps. I mean, you need to be handling some weight. You got to build muscle strength and muscle endurance. Because when you get to pulling a single, you've got to have everything firing properly. You don't want to run out of breath halfway up. Too many guys I see are huffing and puffing on one single. I mean, you shouldn't. It should be very effortless as you do that movement. So again, by incorporating bodybuilding training, this is where I kind of crossed powerlifting into bodybuilding. And even when I was doing both, my bodybuilding went into my powerlifting, and why I could successfully powerlift and bodybuild at the same time was because the training was really crossed over. So again, doing 10 reps, doing 5 sets, working up. When you get to your back day and you were doing deadlifts, I always just like using 45 pounds. Don't put 5 pounds on there and increase by 5 pounds. Stick at, 225 until you can go to 315. It's okay to put a quarter on there, but don't only go up by 5 pounds because you probably didn't get 225 for 10 reps. Guarantee when you can do that for 10 reps easy, you'll be able to move up to 315, and you'll be able to get that for several reps. So, again, always challenge yourself. I see guys putting, those skinny little plastic weights now. The
snap-ons, yeah. Yeah, they're like half pound. They're like a half a pound. Each one is a half a pound. Yeah.
Yeah, a guy last night, he had 10-pound weights on the deadlift, and it looked impressive because it looked like he had
you mean the bumper? You mean the bumper plates for Olympic lifting? I'm sorry. Yeah.
I'm like, come on, again, it isn't about impressing people looking good. I mean, use a real plate. Use a 45-pound plate.
You know what's funny about that? So the guy who dates the actress Sofia Vergara, his name is Joe something. He was in Magic Mike, this last Magic Mike movie. Real handsome Italian guy, I think. And there's a picture of him on Facebook about 3 years ago that some girls would like oohing and on over, and he was doing barbell curls, and it looked like he was using 45s, but at closer look, they were bumper plates. They were 10 pounds each on a 40, on an Olympic bar, and so effectively he was doing 65-pound curls, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, look how strong he is for an actor." They're not 45s; they're 10 pounds. It's not like.
And all the gyms are getting those weights in. And again, those are for Olympic lifting. There's a reason why they are symmetrical. Again, the movements that they're doing, bringing things overhead. Anytime you have smaller weights, it throws off the center of gravity. And again, nothing wrong with it. But again, I'm giving you, Dr. Jeff's philosophy.
Right.
Use a 45-pound weight and don't try to put on a show because, again, if your goal is to get in a meet, when you get in a powerlifting meet, they aren't going to have a bunch of little 10-pound bumper plates. They're going to have them good old steel 45-pound plates. And again, mentally, you need to be prepared, because if you do go up and you now have these 45s, you got to be prepared for them. Another good thing from a training standpoint is you got to get a feel for different parts of the lift. So what I would do is I would go into a rack, and at certain parts of my back training, I would bring the weight up about 3 feet off the ground, and I would work on that middle pull. And all I would do is just go from, I would take the power racks, I would put the bar in there so that the barbell is up 3 feet off the ground. And then I would also do the pull out at the end, where all I had to do was go 4 or 5 inches.
Rack pulls, yeah.
So again, you can handle a lot more weight, and what that does is it kind of gives you a feel for the old girl, because maybe you can only deadlift 315, but at the upper level, you might be able to pull 500 pounds. So again, it's strengthening the traps. You're getting an idea that weight is achievable when you get to that level. So again, that rack training system is great. Now, again, not every single workout. Maybe once a month you go in the rack and you pull from that end.
We're going to take a break. This is perfect.
Yeah.
When we come back, we also need to cover diets, because what he said is diet and supplementation, too. How's that sound?
Sure, sounds good.
Okay, so we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with more Science for Humans, improving your deadlift. Stay tuned. How to properly use carbohydrates to ignite your performance in the field and in the gym? You will now, thanks to this free book by EFX Sports. The Carb User's Guide for Maximum Performance reveals why omitting carbohydrates from your diet can totally crush your gains. Ever wonder how many grams you need for your specific sport? Not anymore. We give you the critical number you need to dominate your competition. You'll even discover the super carb that's taking the athletic world by storm. You must try it to believe it. Go to getcarbolin.com/carb guide today and get your copy absolutely free. Once again, it's GetCarbolyn.com/CARBGUIDE.
Ever feel like you want something something crunchy? From the company that gave us the Quest protein bar, now comes the Quest high protein potato chips with 21 grams of high quality protein and only 5 grams of carbs and no artificial ingredients. Just like Quest bars, you'll feel like you're cheating, but you're not. Go to superhumanradio.com and click the Quest High Protein Potato Chip banner ad today and get ready to be satisfied. Thanks to Quest Nutrition, chips just aren't what they used to be.
Superhuman Radio has the smartest and most dedicated health and fitness listeners found anywhere in the world. If you're trying to tap this market of greater than 50 million health fitness consumers, you simply can't do better than advertising on Superhuman Radio. Our sponsors tell us Superhuman Radio outperforms other forms of advertising time and time again. If you're tired of wasting valuable advertising dollars and need a new way to build your client base, go to superhumanradio.com and click on the Advertise With Us link. It just may be the best thing you have ever done for your business.
Never before has an anti-estrogen been so powerful. The triazole formula is built on a potent, all-natural aromatase inhibitor called Pizole, which has been shown in clinical trial to be as effective as a leading prescription aromatase inhibitor. Pizole works in concert with the rest of the triazole formula to control estrogen while simultaneously boosting testosterone significantly. In fact, one of triazole's testers had a 120% increase in total testosterone and a 257% increase in free testosterone. Triazole is available at bodybuilding.com, nutriplanet.com, or where finer supplements are sold. For more information, check out getds.com. Anabolicminds.com is the premier website for credible information on building muscle, burning fat, supplementation, and more. With over 100,000 active registered members and over 2.5 million posts, it's one of the largest communities on the internet to get help and answers to your questions. It's also the place that the official Superhuman Radio Forum is hosted. Visit anabolicminds.com today and get into the action. Anabolicminds.com. Learn, teach, lead.
Ever feel like you want something crunchy? From the company that gave us the Quest protein bar, now comes the Quest high protein potato chips with 21 grams of high quality protein and only 5 grams of carbs and no artificial ingredients. Just like Quest bars, you'll feel like you're cheating, but you're not. Go to superhumanradio.com and click the Quest High Protein Potato Chip banner ad today and get ready to be satisfied. Thanks to Quest Nutrition, chips just aren't what they used to be.
Now, the #1 best-selling non-hormonal anabolic agent at PredatorNutrition.com. Progenadrex has established itself as the category killer. If you're having difficulty gaining muscle while staying lean, you owe it to yourself to try Progenadrex. 100% of store reviews rated it at 5 stars, the highest possible ranking. And today, right now, there are guys pouring their hearts out in the gym with little or nothing to show for it. Don't waste any more time. Go to PredatorNutrition.com today and get Progenadrex, the world's absolute best drug-free muscle gainer.
This is the Superhuman Channel. Evolution just got kicked up a notch.
Welcome back to Science for Humans with Dr. Jeff Galini, otherwise known as the Supplement Santa. So, obviously, if you're training for powerlifting, you're working hard in the gym. You got to step up your diet. You got to have more carbs in your diet. I mean, there's a lot more you have to do to really be able to make progress, right? Can't you? Because you could probably starve progress right out of yourself if you're not careful.
You can, and I mean, there are no supplements specifically for powerlifting, but there are supplements that are used to fuel your body through that type of sport. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you aren't eating and taking the right stuff. So eating is the most important thing. You got to keep your protein level up. And this is for most athletes. Now, a powerlifter, I almost recommend up to 2 grams of protein per pound of body weight. Again, you're really hammering your body with heavy training. So again, you've got to recuperate and you've got to recover. So it's pretty difficult these days to eat enough protein, so that's where protein supplements come into play. Now, if I don't make it, I don't suggest it. So I got 2 proteins that I am very favorable about. One is EFX Sports New Training Ground Protein, and I utilize that in my diet, but I also utilize Thrive Protein. And the reason why I'm mentioning that is so important for me, first thing in the morning. So if you're a powerlifter, you get up, and I don't care if you're going to have breakfast in a bit, I would recommend taking a Thrive drink to replenish right off the bat all the nutrients that you need to jumpstart your body's metabolism, to jumpstart your day.
Do you know that on Amazon.com, there are 3 different people who said Thrive and Carbolin, Thrive and Carbolin, Thrive and Carbolin. I really, and it made me think, do we need an MRP? But no, we don't. You just need to mix Thrive with Carbolin.
You know, and the reason is that every athlete, has a different ratio. Some days I don't want any Carbolin. I just want Thrive. But other days, I'm going to mix it, or sometimes I want more. And you know how it is. Usually you'll do 1 scoop, but sometimes you just think you need a scoop and a half of even Thrive protein.
Right.
So again, I like for you to be able to be the cook yourself on that. So those are important, the proteins. Carbolin is a yes. You've got to fuel yourself through those workouts and to recover. So again, you want to use that as your pre. Good multivitamin, VitaDrive, essential for all of the muscles firing, absorbing proteins, carbs, fats, nutrients, very, very important. And then for recovery, again, my patented Glutasorb, my glutamine, I like taking that at night. So I have guys and gals take that at night to help them recover. Again, the quicker you recover, the less injuries you're going to have. And then if you're a naturally training athlete, you want to get on test charge, because that's going to help to boost your natural testosterone levels. So again, you will be able to get increases in strength, endurance, keeping your fat down. And of course, last but not least, you need creatine, so you need crealkaline. I usually have most everyone take 1.5 grams in the morning and then another 1.5 grams before training. Now for powerlifters, because most of them are larger males, the majority, I will take a third dose of 1.5 grams after a workout. So that's kind of the whole supplement end. It's really being consistent. And Carl, the thing about powerlifters is they are very good at regimen, not forgetting their supplementation.
Right.
I mean, because everything is important with them. Training, what they wear, they're very good at all their preventive measures, their belts, their knee wraps, where sometimes, people lifting who aren't into that type of event, they aren't as good. And you wonder, why do those guys lift so much? Well, I can tell you, Wade Johnson doesn't miss a meal.
Yeah, right.
So
I was thinking about it, right? So part of the problem is you got to make a choice. You want to be a bodybuilder, you want to be a powerlifter. Very, very different things. And not that you can't do both, but if you want to do one well or one better than the other, you got to pick. So, like a lot of people will be like, oh, well, all the rage is training fasted. Not if you're a powerlifter. You want to have that carbolin. You want to have that fuel. You're not worried about putting on a couple ounces of fat unnecessarily, because it's not unnecessary. You need the fuel for the workout. And chances are if you train hard, you're going to burn it all up anyway. You cannot be carb phobic and be a powerlifter. I'm sorry. You can't do it.
In this day and age, there aren't any fat powerlifters like, way back in the old days where the big Olympic lifters used to have those big
Paul,
bellies.
What's his name? Paul, I can't think of his name right now. Paul something. He was one of the strongest men I've ever seen in my life back in the day. He was doing clean and press with like 500 pounds back then. Paul something. I can't think of it. It'll come to me.
But the point is powerlifters are in good shape. I mean, it's because, again, they take it serious. So you got to really make a decision on, all these different training principles and diets. What is your goal? Again, if you want to powerlift and your goal is to compete or Olympic training, Olympic lifting, you got to eat. You can't be afraid of food. You've got to fuel yourself. If you want to be a bodybuilder or fitness or figure or, all these different things that they now have in that bodybuilding, you still got to eat. If you just want to be in shape and look good, then again, some of these other diets and other training things will be good for you. If you're an endurance athlete, then you're going to have a different program. But like you said, you kind of got to pick one. Now, there's nothing wrong with being a bodybuilder, but powerlifting in the off season like I did, that was what kept me motivated. It was fun. That you can do twice. You can do it at the same time. But again, during the powerlifting time, you had to eat a little bit differently than what you did during the bodybuilding time.
Right.
So,
right. Yeah, I think the biggest thing is not to be carb phobic. Love the carbs because they'll fuel you.
No, you gotta have carbs. Anybody will tell you, and I can tell you that carbs are very, very important. You gotta have endurance and stamina and be fueled, man, because the amount of stress and calories and energy that you expend during one of those lifts, because again, the lift itself only takes, maybe 30 seconds, but getting prepared for that lift, I mean, it would take me about 5 minutes to actually get prepared to go do the lift. I mean, just the mental psyching, getting the gear on,
right,
getting under the bar, getting mentally prepared. The lift was the quickest part. But if I ran out of gas before I even got to the lift, I'm in trouble,
Yeah, absolutely. You want to go ahead and plug real quick before we end the show the Supplement Santa offer again?
Yeah, absolutely. So you've got to go like my Facebook page, Dr. Jeff Galini. I'm going to be posting tonight or later this afternoon when the Christmas in August Supplement Santa giveaway is going to be. And what you will have to do is come on to that live Facebook feed that I'll be talking about what I'm giving away, which August will be a case of Carbolin and a wad of cash. During that live, you got to like it, the page, you got to share it, and then you got to write a comment on why you think you should win.
And
then I'm going to take all the good comments, put them in a hat, and I'll draw one later that day, and that will be the winner for August.
That's awesome.
Planning on doing it. Supplement Santa says he's going to do it every month. So
I gotta create a fake Facebook account so I can get in on this.
You can get in on it, man. Anybody can get in. I got everybody from work saying I'm going to get in. I said that's fine. As long as you follow the parameters, it's going to go in a hat. So it's a luck of the draw. Whatever day. But if you don't, you're not going to win. So
yeah, it's pretty exciting. So get in on